Hello and happy Saturday. I'm KHOU meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We are starting off mostly chilly, but we will be warming up this weekend here across the Houston area. So this weekend warm up and this warming trend is likely to last until Christmas Eve and Christmas Day here across southeast Texas. We could still see some light showers as we head into Sunday, but looking at our weekend forecast, we're going to get up to 78 degrees for today, and then tomorrow getting up to 78 with partly cloudy skies, and we are expecting the weather outlook to be just rather warm, especially if you are heading out to the Texans game. So if you are heading out to NRG Stadium as the Texans take on the Las Vegas Raiders, we are going to see those temps in the upper 70s, getting up to 78, 74 degrees by 6 p.m. And then eventually, as we take a look across the nation, we're not looking at any delays if you are traveling outside of Houston for today. We're seeing mostly quiet conditions. We did have some issues out towards the northeast yesterday, but that system has now tapered off and moved off towards the east. But if you're heading across the country, portions of the deep south, likely to still see a few of these lingering showers as we head into Saturday, maybe into Sunday rather. But other than that, we're just going to remain in the upper 70s across our area. Areas across the Midwest are still going to be rather cold in the 30s and 40s, and then the Pacific Northwest likely to still see rain and storms across that area from Seattle all the way down to Medford. Boise likely to be rainy and snowy out in the mountains there. But looking at the picture for us here, we are seeing some high pressure system building in across Texas, and that is going to keep things mostly quiet for us as we head into the weekend and into the start of our week. So temps are going to be in the upper 70s. I think it's going to feel mostly fantastic out there. We're not expecting to see any extremely warm temperatures, but it is going to be above normal for us as we head into this weekend. So high pressure system lingering across our area until Christmas Day, but we are expecting that to continue. So the next few days, we do have a little bit of a frontal system that's going to want to come through and bring us a few showers for Sunday and into Monday. But we are expecting those conditions to remain mostly just quiet for us here across the Houston area as we go into the next few days. The thing to look out for is the warming trend that is going to last ultimately until Christmas. So Santa's going to be sweating a little bit, maybe if he makes his way here across the south central U.S. and across Texas, because we are expecting those highs to remain mostly warm in the upper 70s for Christmas Eve here across Houston, dropping into the 60s Christmas Day, getting up to 80 degrees, and that could tie our record for maybe the third hottest Christmas that we've seen here across the Houston area. So as we look at the warmest Christmas history, back in 2015 is that record high when we got up to 83 degrees, 1964, 82, 2016, 2021 is when we got up to 80. That very well likely could be the case for us here as we head into the end of the week. So expecting those conditions to remain mostly warm, especially as we end the year and heading into 2026. The Climate Prediction Center is calling for warmer than normal conditions, and our average high for this time of year usually around 65 degrees, and it's very well likely that we could remain rather warm, especially as we head into the next 10 days. I don't think our next cold front will be at least maybe next Sunday and Monday and Tuesday where we could see another round of cooler conditions, but we are expecting those conditions to remain mostly a bit on the warmer side. Lack of rain has really just caused us to have increasing drought conditions across the Houston area. So we are in moderate drought. It's not too much of a concern. I don't think we're looking at any drought restrictions, but just something to note that we really are still in the deficit of the yearly rainfall that we are supposed to receive this year, a good foot in deficit for that yearly rainfall for us here across the Houston area, especially out at Bush Airport. But as far as your 7-day forecast, high temps topping out in the upper 70s, lows in the 60s. The first day of winter will be on Sunday. It's not going to feel like it. It's going to feel like in the upper 70s and might see some humid conditions. There is a little chance of an isolated shower that's going to be moving through maybe Sunday and into Monday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, temps are going to remain rather warm into the upper 70s, low 60s, and then expecting those conditions to remain mostly warm with partly cloudy skies, at least for the next 7 days here across the Houston area. So we are just going to be anticipating this warm outlook for us here going into the next 7 days. And so definitely that's your forecast for this Saturday morning. So if you're just now joining us here on KHOU 11 Plus is our extended forecast where I go a little bit more in depth on what to expect here across the Houston area through the next 7 days. We are expecting a weekend warm up, light showers possible for Sunday and into Monday, and then that warmth remaining in the picture for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But if you are heading out this weekend, we are going to have mostly warm conditions. I don't even think you're going to need your jackets by the afternoon hours. It's not going to be sweltering. It's not going to be too hot, but we will see those temps remain in the 70s, and I think you'll be able to lose those jackets in the afternoon hours. And so game day forecasts, if you are heading out to the game tomorrow, we are going to be in the upper 70s for the noon hour, getting up to 78 degrees, 6 p.m. by 74 degrees. So looking across the nation, we were dealing with quite tremendous amount of weather impacts yesterday, not for us here in Texas, but even across the Northeast, New York City, Boston. They were dealing with widespread rain and snow. Even Denver, Colorado, they were looking at winds gusting up to 40, sometimes 70 miles an hour near the Rocky Mountains. That was causing some massive delays out across Denver, as well as portions of the Northeast. Now, if you are heading out, we're not looking at any delays. There is no delays registered on the average flight delay data page from our nation's airports, but especially if you are heading maybe to the Northeast for today, we are expecting those conditions to remain mostly just a bit on the cooler side. I think it's going to be north of us, of course, that are going to be looking at the winter conditions all across the South. It's going to be rather mild for us here today with temperatures in the 70s, and then eventually going into the tomorrow, we are expecting the chance for some showers, but we're going to still remain in the 70s here across Texas, and the portions of the Midwest still looking at those winter-like temperatures in the 20s and 30s across from Chicago all the way to Rapid City. Even portions of the West, Los Angeles getting up to 65 degrees, but they're looking still at quite a bit of rain out in Northern California in the Pacific Northwest. Starting from the Bay Area, California, all the way to Seattle, Portland, looking at rainy conditions and a rainy outlook. So if you're heading to that region, you're going to be in for quite a bit of rainfall across the Pacific Northwest. But radar right now is looking mostly quiet. They are dealing with a few of those showers, those snow showers across portions of the Great Lakes, even just north and around Milwaukee and Wisconsin. They're looking at a few of those snow showers, and I think that's the only place that's really looking at some impacts at the moment across the Midwest. They are looking also, we're seeing few of these showers from Seattle to Portland, but other than that, portions of California still looking at this light rain that's sort of making its way into the San Francisco Bay Area, and that is going to get ultimately worse through the next 24 hours. But for us here across Texas, we're mostly in the clear. So if you're heading out of town today, we are looking at perfect travel conditions here across Texas. No issues expected as we go into this weekend, and we're going to remain mostly quiet. And all thanks to a high pressure system that's just dominating over our area and not really giving us any much of concerns when it comes to travel impacts. So 3-day outlook, temps in the 70s, remaining in the lower 70s for the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Lubbock, 81, 79 degrees. El Paso, 77. Even the Rio Grande Valley, we're going to be in the 70s as well out in deep South Texas. And so conditions are going to be mostly pleasant, but unfortunately, if you are a fan of this winter type weather or the December-like type feeling that we usually are supposed to feel during Christmas time, unfortunately, it's not going to be the case. We're going to see those warm conditions last at least through Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, ultimately giving Santa a pretty warm travel outlook as he makes its way across Texas going into Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So this is your forecast here for Houston. Partly cloudy skies, upper 70s, lows in the 60s. We might even get up to 80 degrees for Christmas Day. That's a bit warm, and I think we're going to be near those record temperatures, even though the record for Christmas Day is 83. That was set back in 2015, and so a rather warm outlook expected going into Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Unfortunately, if you're a fan of the snow, we are definitely not getting snowfall here across the Houston area or across Texas as we head into the holiday season, even through New Year's. We just might end up rather warm going in the next 10 days, actually. So 7-day forecast. First day of winter is happening tomorrow. Not feeling like it because we're going to be in the upper 70s, lows in the 60s. Isolated showers are definitely possible for Sunday and Monday, but going into Tuesday and Wednesday, we will see rather just mild conditions, nothing too warm, but just keep in mind that you probably won't need a jacket out there if you're making your way for that last minute Christmas shopping here across the Houston area. And again, I'm meteorologist Chris Ramirez with your extended forecast here on KHOU 11+. Thanks for watching and have a safe rest of your weekend.